welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about St. Lawrence, the school I attended for my first year of college, and I brought my handy dandy notebook to read the notes that I took so I can be as thorough as possible for this video. Today I'm wearing my St. Lawrence sweatshirt, the only sweatshirt I own because they are ridiculously overpriced, and it does make me look a little frumpy, but I'm trying to get in that school spirit, you know. The first thing I want to talk about today is location and weather. For many people who live in the Northeast, this isn't such a big of a deal, but if you're from outside the Northeast of the United States or living in another part of the world, this might be a bigger deal to you. St. Lawrence University is located in Canton, New York, which is considered the North Country. This means there are winters. Yes, they are cold winters. However, the winters aren't that bad for anyone who lives in the Northeast. You just have to have a good winter jacket, some winter boots. I will say I had morning classes, 8:30 a.m. to be exact, and on some mornings after a snowstorm, they hadn't shoveled yet. And this was a little bit of a struggle getting to class because I had to go the long way sometimes so I wouldn't have to be walking through a foot of snow. But, you know, trade-offs.
This was one of the sights I woke up to on a Saturday morning. Thank goodness I did not have a class to go to, but there is definitely a lot of snow.
Canton itself is a pretty small town. It has a movie theater, a couple restaurants. I didn't think it was that small of a town, but if you have a car, it's really nice to drive over to Potsdam and some of the other neighboring towns because there are a lot of colleges around and a lot of people visit their friends at other colleges.
Next, I will be talking about classes and professors.
Obviously, as you know, St. Lawrence University is a small school. It's mostly undergraduates at this school. It's about 2,400 kids, and this means the classes are pretty small. On average, I think they tell you on tours it's 16 kids per class, and I would say this is fairly accurate. My largest class was General Biology 101, and it had about 100 kids in the lecture hall. My smallest class was a French class and it had about 9 kids in it, so there's definitely a range, but the majority of my classes probably fell between 10 and 20 students. The professors are awesome. They're really easy to talk to and super supportive. You can go to their office hours whenever you need to and they will always be there to help you, so I really liked that, and that was one of the reasons why I chose St. Lawrence, because I wanted professors to be able to help me. I would definitely say do your research. Go and rate my professor. Ask other students if you can, because this can save you time, effort, and a struggle in class if you know what to expect. First year students are required to take 2 classes, one in the fall and one in the spring, and they're meant to help you with your research and writing skills. I didn't find them that helpful, but they can be. The students in your FYP are the kids you'll be living with in the fall in your residence hall, so that's something to keep in mind when you're choosing your topic, because this will give you an idea of the other people who may be living around you. But basically, FYP is kind of random, and then the FYS you'll actually register for it and you have a better chance of getting something you like. If you have any questions about the FYP or FYS, feel free to leave them down below and I will get back to you, or I can make another video about my FYP and FYS experiences because they were very different experiences and I would love to talk about them. St. Lawrence University does have general education requirements. In my opinion, they're not that hard. I've already accomplished all of them by the end of my second semester due to AP classes and just making sure I was taking a good spread of classes between my 2 semesters. It's not that hard. You can do it. You only take 4 classes each semester unless you overload, but as a freshman you are not allowed to overload. So you'll be taking your FYP or your FYS and then 3 other classes of your choice depending on if you are undecided or if you have a major in mind. This will dictate what kind of classes you're taking or how much choice you have. If you're pre-med, you're pretty much locked into taking biology and chemistry and you don't really have a choice in that matter, but if you're in another field, you'll have a lot more choice and a lot more options. Because you're only taking 4 classes, this leaves a lot of time for extracurriculars. I'm not going to go into every single extracurricular because there's obviously too many, but I'll just tell you the ones that I was involved in the fall semester and the spring semester, and if you have any questions about them, you can leave them down below. If you have questions about other extracurriculars, you can also leave them down below. I might have answers to those as well. In the fall, I was involved in the women's rowing team, which is an NCAA Division III sport, in the Laurentian magazine, the Progressive Christian group, and I was also involved in Reading Buddies. In the spring semester, I continued to be involved in the Laurentian magazine, the Progressive Christian group. I joined Thelma, which is our student government, as a senator, and the winter band ensemble as a flute player. It's really easy to get involved at St. Lawrence because everyone is involved and you're kind of the odd one out if you're not involved. And there's tons of different clubs and sports and different kinds of groups to get involved in. You'll definitely find something that you're interested in. So now we're going to get to the dorm part of this video. I lived in Whitman, which is one of the freshman dorms. Most of the freshman dorms at St. Lawrence are freshman only dorms, but Whitman actually has upperclassmen in it as well because it has the wellness section for upperclassmen. So I lived on the 3rd floor of Whitman.
This is the entrance to our dorm room. I took this within the first week of school. This is our trash and recycling that the university provides for us. And this is my closet. I have the dresser which the university provides within the closet. And all of my clothes, both summer and winter. There is above the closet storage, which you can't really see in this shop, but you will see it soon. The dressers were quite large. And as we move towards my desk, which the university also provides, you can see my bookshelf with all of my books. The university does not provide the bookshelf. My dad made the bookshelf for me, but it does look like it fits and is part of the room. As we move towards my bed, you can see that I lofted it. I believe I lofted it on the 2nd setting. There's 3 different settings, so I did have to step up onto the futon to get into the bed, but it wasn't that difficult. You can see a little glimpse of my gallery wall, as well as the quilt that my aunt made me, and the rug that my roommate brought for us to share in the corner of the futon that we also used. You can see my laundry hamper and various other storage things, as well as my beautiful African violet and ivy plants that I absolutely adore. If you wanted a better view of the futon, here it is. You can also see what it looks like outside my window during the winter time with a beautiful blue winter sky. And as we move towards my bed, you can see the Impressionist painting that I absolutely adore, as well as a closer look at my gallery wall. My sister drew the ostrich. Both of my sisters made the L, and my sister did the watercolor as well. As we move along towards my desk, you can see my cork board, which I have various pictures and doodles and little sketches that I love. And you can also see all of the books that I brought to college. And in the closets, you can see the above the closet storage that I talk so much about. It really is quite big. And my favorite part of my room is the drying rack.
So the dorms are okay. The bathrooms actually weren't bad. You share bathrooms with everyone else on your floor. You can vote to have them gender inclusive or one gender only. If anyone says they don't want them to be gender inclusive, they can't be gender inclusive. There are a bunch of other dorms. Whitman's one of the bigger freshman dorms. I think Lee and Reba are also pretty large, but Gaines, Rife, and Priest are the smaller freshman dorms. Whitman's also pretty close to Dana and the Student Center and most of the academic buildings, so it's not that difficult to walk to classes, and it's really close to the Noble Center. I will say there are no towel racks on the back of Whitman's doors to my knowledge, so make sure you have a towel rack. It's very important. Next topic is food. I know that this can be a stressor for some people who are really picky with food or are used to their parents cooking or grandparents cooking. I will say the food is not disgusting. It's definitely pretty good. They tend to have relatively fresh food. There's always a salad bar. There are vegan and vegetarian options every single day, and they have their food clearly marked with allergens and things like that. But the food tends to be pretty boring. There's not much variety, and I found myself having grilled chicken multiple days a week, and I got pretty sick of grilled chicken really fast. Freshmen have an unlimited meal plan. They can get however many meals they want to at Dana during the week, which is the main dining hall, and then you have 10 meal exchanges at any other locations. The most common one is the pub in the bottom floor of the Student Center. This last topic is partying, and I'm not going to go that much into it because I'm not really into the partying scene, but St. Lawrence is definitely a party school. There's no way around that. Everyone knows that. I think they're trying to work to change that, but the culture currently is very much that of a party school. If you have questions about parties, I can answer them, or I can make a video about the party culture, but because I'm not really into that, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you come back next week to see another video. If you have any video recommendations, please leave them down in the comments below. Give this video a like and subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you next week. Or or if you have questions about other extracurricular, if you have questions about other extra